Bienvenue dans ce nouvel épisode de Tuto de Vito. Je suis ravi de vous retrouver pour un nouveau podcast, déjà le 3e. Podcast, un concept vraiment très simple, c'est un podcast filmé, c'est-à-dire que dans quelques secondes, là, je vais vous parler en anglais. Je vais aborder un nouveau sujet, mais je vais parler dans un anglais très facile à comprendre, un anglais compréhensible, pour vous mettre en position de réussite, pour vous prouver que vous êtes capable de comprendre de l'anglais sur une longue durée, pas juste quelques minutes, ça va peut-être durer 25-30 minutes, mais vous allez voir, je vais tout faire pour parler lentement, de manière compréhensible, avec une charge de vocabulaire pas trop importante, mais suffisamment pour que ce soit agréable et que vous appreniez des choses. J'en profite pour vous dire qu'une fois que vous aurez fini d'écouter ce podcast, vous pouvez faire le quiz, parce que oui, je vous ai préparé un quiz. Vous cliquez dans la description sur le lien et vous pouvez faire ce quiz. Il y aura peut-être une dizaine ou une quinzaine de questions pour vérifier votre compréhension. Voilà, je n'en dis pas plus, je laisse place à l'anglais. Brace yourselves, let's dive into it. All right, hello everyone, welcome to another episode, today's episode of our English podcast, Comprehensible English Podcast. Today's topic is both fascinating and a little scary too. We are going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence. We hear about AI every day in the news, at work, in schools, you name it. But in this episode, we will explore what AI really is. I will try to give you a little bit of context about its short history. We will also talk about the benefits of AI, of course, but also the dangers that we should be aware of. And we will probably focus on two issues. The way AI affects environment, because it does, and also how it might change the way we think and the way we process information. Okay, so that's a very deep topic. I don't know how long it will take. I don't care, to be honest. It will last as long as we need to. So I will speak slowly and clearly with pauses to help you follow. So get comfortable, put on your headphones maybe, or just relax. Put the kettle on and drink some tea or coffee, or maybe you're sitting on the train or in your car. Maybe you're just at home. I don't know, but here we are, AI, le tuto de Vito. So before we begin, I would like to review a few words, a few expressions, some important words that will be used in this episode. I will say each one, and I will try to give a short definition. And perhaps you can repeat after me, right? Let's go. So the first one is obviously AI, artificial intelligence, AI. So what is AI? Well, very simply, machines that learn and that solve problems. Okay, that seems really simple. Maybe a little bit simplistic, but I'm fine with it. Number 2 is algorithm. algorithm. Ooh, that's a tricky word. Algorithm. Could you repeat with me? Algorithm. An algorithm is a set of rules, a set of steps that a computer follows, right? That's as simple as it gets. A set of rules, a set of steps that a computer follows, right? Good. Next one will be data. Data is basically information that AI uses to learn. So this is, if you want, it's the food that AI eats in order to grow. Well, this analogy is probably over simplistic, but this is what data is. But to store data, you need data centers. And data centers are large buildings full of computers and hard disks that store and process data. Right. Let's move on to two other concepts that are a little bit tricky to understand. Cognitive skills. And I'm very interested in cognitive skills. Cognitive skills is our mental abilities like memory or attention, and even problem solving. It's our capacity to memorize, our capacity to think and to solve problems. Okay? And sometimes we speak about offloading, like cognitive offloading in one word. It's when we use machines or when we let a tool to do the thinking for us. Okay? It's when you stop thinking by yourself and you tell or you let the AI or the machine do all the thinking for you. And that's maybe a little bit dangerous. We will talk about this later on in the episode. Great. So now you're ready for today's topic, I'm sure. So let's take a few minutes to talk about, very briefly, because I am not a historian, let's talk about the history of AI, and let's go back in time for a moment. The idea of AI, artificial intelligence, began roughly in the 1950s. Lots of scientists, and one of them you may have heard of, was called Alan Turing. He's basically the inventor of the computer, the modern computer. Have you seen the film Enigma with that's Benedict Cumberbatch, great actor. Well, Alan Turing asked a very simple and yet very deep question. That is, can machines think? And that's that's a fundamental question, and that's an issue that was beginning to emerge in the 1950s after the Second World War. So at first, AI could do very simple tasks, like playing chess, for example, against a human being, or solving like basic problems. And in the 1990s, computers became faster and faster, and scientists started creating smarter algorithms. But the true revolution, began in the 2000s and 2010, when we got access to massive amounts of data, powerful computers, and the rise of machine learning. So all this congregation of massive data, more powerful computers, and machine learning created systems that improved by learning from experience. And that's what AI is all about. It's not about, well, how can AI be so powerful? It's because it grows from experience. It learns with time. And that's the scary part. Because now you know that AI today is everywhere. It's in your smartphone, it's in hospitals, it's in schools, in companies, in cars, even in art. So you know that AI can write texts and compose music and even speak with you or for you. Perhaps in the future, people like me, like YouTubers, will be replaced by AI. And maybe I will be like a dinosaur, remembering the good old days when I was filming myself in my studio and trying to reach an audience. I don't know. It scares me sometimes. Well, anyway. Now, let's talk about how AI works. I will try to keep it simple because I'm not a specialist, and I am very sorry. I apologize. If you know more about me, and that's very likely, just skip the video. I am not a specialist. I am just trying to pass the content, okay? And to explain how I see things and to make it comprehensible. So, we stated that AI learns from data, right? You probably agree with that. AI learns from data. For example, if you show an AI thousands of pictures of cats, let's say cats, it will learn the pattern. So what is the pattern? The pattern would be the shapes, the different colors, the features that define a cat, right? So then when you show a new picture, the AI can say that is a cat. That is 100% a cat. That is not a cheetah. That is not a tiger, you see? So this process is called machine learning. So some AI will learn through examples like the cat. Some others will learn through trial and error. And trial and error is something that we humans do all the time. We struggle. We have a hard time to understand a concept. We miss a point. We misunderstand a concept. And then we repeat it. We try to find a solution. And eventually, we have the right answer. This is trial and error. You try and you fail. You try and you fail. And eventually, you get your point across and you understand the concept or you learn something. So basically, the more data and computer power AI has, the faster and the smarter it becomes. That's why we see so much progress today. And I'm not saying progress, I'm just saying fast progress. It's amazing how fast AI is developing on a daily basis. Now, AI can do amazing stuff. That's for sure. Let's look at the benefits first. because I want to see the bright side of AI before we delve into the dark side of AI. So AI brings many positive impacts to our world. Medicine. AI helps doctors, and that's a true fact. AI can detect diseases very easily and very early so that you can cure diseases that the human eye could not have noticed. It can read medical images better than real doctors, find small details that human might miss. AI can also help through robots, can help surgeons to operate patients, that's crazy. That's unbelievable that a machine becomes better, or at least is a great help to doctors. So that's something amazing. Education. I am a teacher, and I am not scared because honestly, it's a great way to learn new things and even to have a conversation. Think about it. If you speak to ChatGPT or whatever AI, you can progress. You can improve your speaking skills. And AI can become, I said can, become a part of your journey, a part of your learning experience. And what I love about AI is that it can give you feedback. And that is very precious. Feedback is one of the key stages of the learning process. Because when someone tells you what's wrong or what you should do differently, then you improve. Environment. AI can definitely learn scientists predict weather patterns. AI can help track deforestation and find pollution sources easily, much more easily than humans do. So this might help us protect the planet. There are downsides, I agree with that, and we will talk about them. But still, it can help. And it also helps with, daily life. You have voice assistants for people who can't. Disabled people use voice assistants for their everyday needs. Translation tools. If you're stuck in a language and you don't understand, AI can help you. What else? Like recommendation on YouTube. It might help you discover new things. So it's a great help in that time. Basically, it saves you time and it makes your life easier. So yeah, definitely AI can be like a helpful partner if used wisely. To be wise is to use it reasonably. But as I'm talking about this, I realize that, of course, everything is not perfect. And with great power comes great responsibility. And that's the scary part. So now let's take a deep breath and look at the dangers. One of the first dangers is losing jobs. And I am a little upset about this because I can foresee that lots of jobs will be lost. I mean, human jobs. In offices, AI will write emails and analyze data faster than humans. In factories, robots will assemble products. It's already the case, but it will grow bigger and bigger with time. In customer service, chatbots will be able to answer questions 24/7. So yeah, it's a disaster. So I have some data here According to the World Economic Forum, about 40% of jobs could change because of automation in the next 20 years. Imagine 40% of jobs. That's just crazy. It doesn't mean that all jobs will disappear, but workers will need digital skills, creative skills. That's for sure. Because otherwise, AI will take over. So we must learn to work with AI, not against it. I think so. If we are against it, it's a lost battle. But if we learn how to implement AI and use it to our benefits, then, and if we develop our creative capacities, then I think we'll be good to go. Well, fingers crossed. Now, second point is we tend to think that AI is right. You know, when you go on the internet, when it's written on the internet, it feels like it's the truth. And there must be some psychological thing here. I'm not sure. And the problem is, as AI learns from human data, sometimes humans are biased. Sometimes you could train an AI on unfair data, which will result in a negative behavior. Let me give you one example. An AI could be used to hire people, right? But to prefer men over women. If you train the AI in such a way that this AI will make the choices that the company wants, or maybe using face recognition, it's so unfair. I mean, depending on the skin tones, I am quite sure that AI could be biased, and the training images that AI uses as data could be used wrongly and could be used unfairly and could result in like really discrimination. So that's another point that scares me a little bit, because people tend to follow what technology says, and that's not good. Third point, third danger, that has to be related to personal information, like data collection. AI needs a lot of personal information, like photos, videos, messages, health info, locations. And the problem is we often give these informations. We give this data without really thinking about it. We are actually feeding AI with our personal info because we have no choice sometimes, or we don't realize how dangerous it is. And all these personal info tend to put our privacy at risk. So data could be stolen, data could be sold, data could be misused. And if it can definitely affect people's lives and safety and freedom. So that's another issue. And perhaps a last point, and I'm quite worried about this because I was trapped the other day. I completely fall for it. I was on YouTube and I saw a video of a baby playing in the front yard, and a bear arrives, and the baby just starts to pet the bear and call his mommy and say, "Mommy, there's a bear, there's a teddy bear." And the mom like freaks out and the bear goes away. And I'm like, is this real? I was shocked. I was so scared for this baby, and I was so relieved that the bear went away. But actually it was all fake. It was AI, totally AI designed. So AI can definitely create deep fakes, fake videos, fake voices that look 100% real. And imagine a politician saying, or people who have lots of like large audiences and great influence over people. And imagine a politician saying something really shocking, and it will spread online before anyone checks it. So this can result in manipulate elections and probably destroy reputations, make people lose interest or lose trust in what they see and hear. So yeah, I'm very worried that nowadays it becomes harder and harder to tell the truth from the fiction. And you can't trust images nowadays. And that's something we need to be aware of. Well, to finish this episode, which is already quite long, I hope you are still with me. I'd like to cover two points. One of them is the consequences of AI in terms of environment. So let's start with that. AI needs massive data centers. We know that. But the problem is these buildings are full of computers running 24/7. So they use a lot of electricity. It's about 2%, maybe 1.5 or 2% of the world's total electricity today, which is completely unbelievable. And we know that most of this energy will come from fossil fuels. We talked about climate change in the other podcast. So basically, the more AI we use, the more CO2 emissions we produce. And not only that, but data centers need a lot of water to cool down their machines. So it's not good. Tech companies need to use more renewable energy and build greener data centers. Otherwise, we will never be able to sustain the amount of electricity that is needed by AI. And I don't know what will happen. I really don't know, and I don't want to think about it. And the last point I want to make, and this is probably the most important point, I think. I would like to talk about how AI affects our minds. Research has shown that when we rely too much on tools, we tend to stop using our own cognitive skills. So let me rephrase this. The more we rely on, the more we count on tools, the less we use our brains. Let's take as an example the GPS. If you rely on your GPS all the time, you forget how to use a map. And you become unable to navigate if you don't have your phone with you, which is worrying. Using your calculator all the time. Let's say even for simple operations. If you use your calculator all the time, you lose the ability to do mental math. And that's scary too. And recent studies have shown that it's exactly the same with AI. If you use AI on a daily basis to write your emails, construct your essays, or to simply answer the questions that you are asked, well, then you tend to lose your critical thinking and your ability to organize your thoughts. So over time, it will, and I'm sure, it will reduce the attention span. It will probably hinder creativity, and it will definitely reduce the skill of solving problems, like problem-solving capacities, and those are skills that we need as humans to be able to function and to be able to live together. So I will conclude on that. I am not saying that the solution is to avoid AI, because we can't. It's part of our lives, and it will be. But rather to use it smartly, for lack of better words, to use AI smartly, to use AI as a help, as a helper, not as a replacement kit for thinking. But that's easier said than done, and I'm hoping that younger generations will be both curious, but also, let's say, critical about it. Yeah, critical about it. So yeah, use AI wisely, stay curious, look for, check information, keep practicing your thinking skills, keep doing arts and music, and keep writing poetry or your diary, everything that involves your passions, everything that involves your thinking and your creativity is worth. Okay, so just do it. Don't rely too much on computers and AI. I will stop there, because we could speak for hours, and I'm hoping I wasn't too boring. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please share it on social media. Please review it. Comment. Give me your thoughts, and join me next time for a new topic, a new podcast of English learning, and hopefully comprehensible English will help you improve, and I'm 100% sure about this. Take care, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye. Cheers.